Is it an LBO?
Well, I think the tweet, maybe the words really meant something. He did not say LBO. He said take the company private. I think it's very unlikely that there's a traditional LBO to do here. LBO, with the first word being leverage, it is very hard to put leverage on this company, sort of an $80 billion enterprise value. Today it has $10 billion of leverage, and the discussion in the market for the last 3 months has been all about whether the company can continue to fund its business without issuing equity into the market. So going private, putting more leverage on that business, is very hard to do.
As I've talked to people on Wall Street since this was announced yesterday, they said, you got to compare it with Dell. And Dell was actually a much smaller deal, $24.5 billion, $15 billion in credit, the rest in equity. But Dell at the time had 5.5% free cash flow. I'm going to put up a chart here which shows what Tesla has right now, and the red line is zero. That's break even. This is minus $800 million cash flow. Who's going to lend them money to take this thing private?
Well, $10 billion worth of people have so far. So there's certainly been, they've had access to the market. They're a non-investment grade company. A lot of that credit has been in converts, though. And that's important because people wanted to have the equity upside. I think it's very hard to lend much more money to a company that is, not only is it negative cash flow, but there's still operational issues that the company's working through before it can turn positive. A long way from Dell.
Even on the corporate finance side, you said something very important there. A lot of that's in converts. Things that are actually tied to equity. If you went private, you couldn't do that anymore, could you? You can't have convertible debt in a private company.
You can. I think the question really is, this conversation's all going to get to what this company looks like if it goes private. Ultimately, we're going to try to figure that out. There are certainly private companies that have converts. Tech companies all the time go private. Large valuations are private and raise capital. Large valuations, most often in converts. The question is, can you go back the other direction? Can you take the retail investors who are not qualified purchasers of those kind of securities? What do you do with them? What do you do with the Fidelities and others that own the stock? It's not that easy.